Welcome to SDH's coverage of everything going on in MLS Next Pro. We'll take you backward before we go forward and get you ready for the big weekend that will be when it comes to MLS Next Pro. International competitions, remember, we got some news involving that as well with the MLS Next Pro teams and the competitions, including a couple of familiar names from outside the country. We'll get into that competition as well, get into the news of everything that happened in Match Day 16. So getting into the schedule, going back a full 7 days to get you ready and prepped for what's going to happen in the next 7 days, which includes a very early kick. I think it's the earliest kick we've seen so far in MLS Next Pro when it comes to teams squaring off on the East Coast, even earlier on the West Coast if you have to get up to watch it in the midweek. But last Friday Night Football back on the 7th, Columbus Crew 2 on a goal by Marco Micheletto with about 30 minutes to go was the deciding factor in the Crew 2's 3-2 win over TFC 2 at York Lions Stadium on the campus of York University. Also, Austin FC 2 trying to keep pace with one of the hottest teams in MLS Next Pro, if not the hottest team in MLS Next Pro out of the blocks. Austin FC 2 gets a 3-0 win over Houston Dynamo 2 at Palmer Field. Saturday, you had the one match, and it was at BC Place. And full credit to Whitecaps for hosting it there as the hottest team in the West. Colorado Rapids 2. Took a little more than 90 minutes, but they would get the extra point. Rapids and Whitecaps tied at 1 after 90. Rapids would win at 4-3 in PKs at BC Place. So the added point, that fourth category that we talk about in win-loss records, goes to the Rapids. Sunday, early kick, 5 o'clock in the afternoon at Matthews. Crown Legacy over Atlanta United 2 by the score of 3-1. It would be a fairly competitive first 45 minutes, and then it was 2 goals in 3 minutes that ended up being the distance that Crown Legacy would need. A goal by Luke Brennan made it 2-1, but then Crown Legacy would come right back and score their third 3-1 win for Crown Legacy over Atlanta United 2 in the Eastern Conference. Chicago Fire 2, FC Cincinnati 2, goalless after 90. FC Cincinnati would get the extra point, winning at 4-3 in PKs at SeatGeek in Bridgeview. New England Revolution 2, trying to keep pace with Crown Legacy. We'll get into the standings coming up in just a little bit. Went down to Fort Lauderdale, beat Inter Miami 2 by the score of 2-0. That one was at Drive Pink Stadium before the renovation. And in that one, it was goals by Peyton Miller in the 51st, Malcolm Fry with less than 2 minutes to go. That would be the difference. 2-0 winners, Revs, over Inter Miami. Match of the week in the East, we go to Joe Davis Stadium, Wicks Family Field, for Huntsville City FC and Orlando City B. Here's your highlights. Trust me, there's a lot of them, courtesy of our friends at MLS Next Pro and Apple TV.
4-4-2 offensive set. Keep an eye out for Asad Liati. So he'll be the key player to get involved up front for Orlando City B. Also keep an eye out for Juninho. And we are underway inside Joe Davis Stadium. Inside the box, a chance for Orlando on the cross. Here's a shot by Freeman. Ollie Wright, nice ball in the 18. Here's a shot, goal! Coach Collison mentioned was to stay aggressive with the shot selection. And inside the 18, another shot, rather a cross and a goal! On the far side, Amici. And Sa turns the corner towards the end line, and that's going to be a penalty. Johnson got it! 2-1 Huntsville City over Orlando. Another chance here for Huntsville in the final third with another shot and goal! Isaiah Johnson back-to-back. He has a brace. Now here is Tablante inside the box, and it's cleared by Huntsville City. And that's going to be a blatant yellow card as Liati goes down. Let's see if it is a yellow. It will be. And that should be Kibanguchi's second yellow, so that means he gets a red, and he is done for the match. Oh, nice bicycle to keep that ball in play for Huntsville. Haven't seen that before. Open space in the final third. Liotti, oh! Oh, here comes Huntsville, open space. Another chance, gonna be 5-1 with the left foot, yes! No. No call. Now on the other side for Orlando. On the cross in the box. Lynn fires and scores! Will that goal count? You hear the official blowing the whistle. It will indeed count. You see here Tablante at open space, finding Lynn, and Lynn rockets one off the right foot. Amici slots one over to Johnson. Another shot. Oh! Joey Skinner from distance. 6-2 Huntsville. His first goal of the season. I mean, look at this space, and off the left foot, rockets one in the upper right corner. Throw in by Huntsville, and that's going to do it. At full time, Huntsville City FC, a 6-2 win.
A lot of records set by a very young team as Hunt City goes and gets 6 on the board. And most of that, well, some of that after the red card from Nabi Kibanguchi. So Kibanguchi will not be available for their next match when Huntsville and Orlando City B square off, but he will be available. As one of the rules in MLS Next Pro, he will be available for the next match for OCB, and we'll get into that in the schedule coming up in just a little bit. Real Monarchs went to the National Sports Center, got a 2-0 win over Loons 2. Hudson River, MLS Next Pro style, went to NYCFC 2. It was at Montclair State, and it was 3-2 your final score. NYCFC getting the win, and they ended up getting goals on the board to start things off and getting a little bit of distance between themselves and the hosts, Red Bulls. Samuel Owusu scored goalless at the half. Owusu scored in the 47th. Matt Myers would score 10 minutes later to make it 2-0. Then Jonathan Jimenez would score to make it 3-0. That was the initial margin for the road team here in Hudson River. But Ricardo Gorday would score with 11 minutes to go. Ibrahim Kasula would score shortly after that, made for a high-powered 10 minutes after the Alexandra Red in the 62nd kind of forced Red Bulls to play with 10 for the final 30 minutes or so. But it was 3-2 your final. The late comeback from the Red Bulls, NYCFC 2, would get full points. Galaxy 2 Los Dos got a win at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, knocking off St. Louis City 2 by the score of 1-0. And our match of the week out west, bit of history, bit of accomplishment for LAFC 2. They were at Titan Stadium on the campus of Cal State Fullerton, taking on the San Jose Earthquakes 2. Here's your highlights once again, courtesy of our friends at MLS Next Pro and Apple TV.
And for Quakes, again, mentioned Eric De La Cerda's in the net. Walls is Abraham Romero in his 9th start. He is 0-7-0, still in search of his first win. He's played a couple MLS games a year ago, has been frequently with the first team. But still, that takes a punch out of the lineup for him. San Jose recovered well there. Another turnover. Torres on the near side with space. Cross goal! LAFC finding its offense. Fabian Vasquez with his first goal. Gaines keeps it in the final third. Accelerates. Top of the box, centers, another opportunity, another goal! LAFC has found its offense. The 17-year-old Diego Rosales, 7 matches that he's been active for in the MLS. Didn't play in any of them, but still 17 years old. He's been active with the first team 7 times this year. Into the box. Poor angle, though. Now centered. Long shot, score! Or Maya, rather. Ball game. LAFC 2 wins its first home match at Titan Stadium.
First home win of the season for LAFC 2, winning over San Jose on Sunday afternoon local time. Timbers 2 over Sporting Kansas City 2 by the score of 3-1. That one was at Providence Park. That was your next to last latest kick, and it would be goals on the board early on. Josh Penn would score in the 19th, Blake Pope in the 38th, and Julian Bravo would score in the 52nd minute, and that would make it 3-0. That would make it down 1-0 after Bryant scored for Sporting Kansas City 2. Got my numbers mixed up. Ethan Bryant scored first for Sporting Kansas City 2. So the visitors got on the board, but then it was all T2 coming back, storming up their way back. 19th, 38th, and 52nd, T2 with the rare win, and it was a win at home, taking care of business there. And your late game, it was Tacoma Defiance at Starfire, knocking off North Texas SC by the score of 3-0. An own goal in the first minute. Then it would be Paul Rothrock scoring in the 24th, and then another own goal in the 53rd. So 2 own goals. So own goal got a brace in the Tacoma Defiance North Texas SC match. So Tacoma Defiance wins it 3-0 at home, and that would complete the week in match day 16. So let's take a peek at the standings. And once again, until we get later on in the year, we'll do them a division at a time, and then later on in the season we might mix it in the conference play as well. In the East, in the Northeast Division, Crown Legacy's at 41 points, 6 points clear of the Revs at 35, and they are 5 points clear from Red Bulls, who are at 30. They're 5 points clear of NYCFC, who's at 25. Philadelphia Union 2 at 23. TFC 2 with a record of 3-10-4-2. Remember that 2 is the shootout points that you get for winning after being tied after 90 minutes. TFC 2, 17 matches played and 15 points. Central Division, it is Columbus Crew 2 at 34 points. OCB, after their blowout loss in Huntsville, now have a -4 goal difference after 17 matches. They are 3 points ahead of Atlanta United 2 after 17 matches at 24 points. Chicago Fire at 23. Hunt City's now at 22 points, 4-2-1 at home after starting out with their first 7 on the road. So Hunt City making a bit of a charge. FC Cincinnati's at 18 points. Inter Miami is at 14 points with a record of 4-11-2. They've given up 36 goals in their 17 matches. They've only scored half that many. They are 1-7 away from Dry Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Western Conference, we mentioned Colorado Rapids. They're at 40 points, 11-1-4-3. Only the one loss in their first 16 matches, unbeaten in their first 12. Austin FC's at 36 points, 10 points clear of Sporting Kansas City. Now here's where the fun starts in the Frontier. 4 points separate teams 3 through 7 in the Frontier. Sporting Kansas City's at 26, Loons 2 at 23. St. Louis City, behind on points per game average, is at 23. They are in 5th. They've also played 2 more matches than Loons 2 have. Houston Dynamo ahead of North Texas SC in points per game average at 22 points each. Dynamo in 6th. North Texas SC with a record of 5-7-6-1. They are in 7th. Pacific Division. Tacoma Defiance now on top with their recent run of form, 5-1-2 at Starfire. They have 16 matches, 32 points. Whitecaps at 30 points after 18 matches. Earthquakes at 25. T2 and Real Monarchs both at 21, but T2 have one more win, and they are better in goal difference. LA Galaxy 2 Los Dos are at 15 points with a record of 3-9-4-2, giving up 37 goals so far this season, Los Dos, in 16 matches. LAFC 2, we've mentioned how they are with a record of now 2-8-5. They've now won at home. They've now won on the road. 11 points. They are in 7th in the Pacific, after 15 matches, 2-8-5, 10 goals scored on the year. They've given up 19. So that's a look at your standings when it comes to everything in MLS Next Pro. News and notes. The upcoming MLS Next Pro international competitions include Wrexham and teams from Premier League 2 and the Bundesliga. This news coming out on Tuesday. Philadelphia Union 2 and Los Dos are going to host Wrexham during their U.S. tour. The annual MLS Next Pro Invitational returns to Salt Lake City, featuring Premier League 2 and Bundesliga sides. It will be in July. 2 MLS Next Pro clubs. We mentioned Wrexham on their particular tour. In Salt Lake, 5 matches over 8 days, July 18 through 25. Competing from MLS Next Pro, Real Monarchs, Colorado Rapids 2, Whitecaps 2. They get to face the under-21 side from Crystal Palace and TSG Hoffenheim's U23s from the Bundesliga. It's the first year that a team will compete in the Invitational from an international league other than PL2. Matches start on the 18th. That is the 18th, the 19th, the 21st, the 24th, and the 25th for the second annual MLS Next Pro Invitational, and it will be really looking forward to seeing that competition with the MLS Next Pro sides blending with Crystal Palace and TSG Hoffenheim in that particular tournament. They're going to be played at Zions Bank Stadium in Harriman, Utah, and you can watch it exclusively on the web at MLSNextPro.com. Pro player match of the day for Match Day 16, Patrick Aguimang, no real surprise there. And the team for Match Day 16, once again, no real surprise, is Hunt City for putting 6 on the board against OCB. You look at the rising star of Match Day 16, it is Colorado Rapids 2's Adam Beaudry. Considering what the Rapids have been doing out of the blocks once again, no real surprise when it comes to all of that we've been keeping an eye on recently with Colorado Rapids. The power rankings after Match Day 16 go from 10 to 1. 10 now, Hunt City. 6 goals past Orlando City B. They've now got TFC on Sunday. Atlanta United 2's at number 9, and they've only won one of their last 5 in regulation, but they've taken points from Crew 2 and TFC 2. And next up for them is the matchup against Orlando City B, Sunday the 16th. You'll catch that one on the SDH network. And pregame show will precede the 2s and OCB from Osceola Heritage Park. Number 8, Whitecaps FC 2. 7, Red Bulls. 6 is Revolution 2. 5 is Crew 2. 4 is Tacoma Defiance, biggest movers in the power rankings. Winning run is now up to 4 matches. Wade Weber's squad with that win over North Texas. 3 clean sheets along the way as well. And Paul Rothrock, we mentioned that he had a goal. Jacob Castro had a 1-save clean sheet. And they've got a 2-match road trip, and they've got Los Dos coming up on Sunday. Next match on the board. Austin FC is at number 3. Colorado Rapids at number 2, which means Crown Legacy is your new number 1 when it comes to the power rankings in MLS Next Pro. A couple of signing. You've got Orlando City signing Javier Otero to a first-team deal. For those of you who had the chance to see Orlando City B this year, Otero is top-notch. Signing his first-team contract as a homegrown player through 24, club options for 25 and 26. 20-year-old joined Orlando City Academy back in 2017. He's gone through each step in the process, and since then he's been the last 2 seasons in MLS Next Pro. Last season's saves leader in the league with 100 stops. Defended 15 times this season, 3 clean sheets, 46 saves in that span. So good news for Orlando City as Javier Otero gets to learn from Pedro Gallese. Homegrown, signed through 24, club options for 25 and 26. So cool news there if you're a fan of Orlando City and Orlando City B. Monthly awards for the month of June. Pro Team of the Month, Crown Legacy. Once again, no real surprise. Player of the Month in MLS Next Pro, Nicholas Firmino, Atlanta United 2. And MVP frontrunner, according to our friends at MLSNextPro.com. Pro Coach of the Month, Benny Feilhaber from Sporting Kansas City 2. He had a 5-game unbeaten streak for Sporting Kansas City, 2 wins, 2 shootout wins in the month of June, and adds that to May with just 1 loss in their last 9 matches, going backward from the end of June back into May. So good work from Benny Feilhaber, Coach of the Month for the month of June in MLS Next Pro. Damian Las for Austin FC, Pro Keeper of the Month, and he will be involved in goalie wars as at MLS All-Star Week in D.C. So be looking forward to seeing Damian Lost be associated with that vital role, part of their success. Once again, Austin's only conceded 10 goals through the month of June, 8 clean sheets, save percentage of 80.4. Rising star of the month for June was Luciano Sanchez for Philadelphia Union, and came off the bench in the second half in match day 15, instant impact on the field, and you end up getting full points for Philadelphia Union too. So that's how it was looking. Rising star of the month, Luciano Sanchez, for our friends in MLS Next Pro. Once again, let's get you squared away with what is going to be going on. It's going to be a very busy midweek in addition to the weekend, and a really interesting matchup coming up. El Trafichico is coming up in the midweek. LAFC, LA Galaxy. That'll be on at 10 o'clock on Season Pass on Wednesday. But let's go through the schedule and juice boxes where we have them when it comes to MLS Next Pro. Once again, we've got the matches coming up in the midweek, and we mentioned that early start, and it is an early start. Trust me when I tell you this. 11 o'clock Wednesday morning, Crown Legacy, New England Revolution 2 at Gillette Stadium. You can catch that one on Season Pass. It'll be an early wake-up call for a lot of folks. 7 o'clock, it is Philadelphia Union 2 at York Lions Stadium taking on TFC 2, and then El Trafichico. 10 o'clock on Season Pass from Carson, California, LAFC 2 visiting LA Galaxy. Friday Night Football, Real Monarchs is hosting Colorado Rapids 2 at Zions Bank Stadium. You can catch that one on Season Pass. The traditional Saturday match at BC Place, it is Whitecaps hosting Timbers 2 as a part of Cascadia, MLS Next Pro style. Once again, that one's on Season Pass, 5 o'clock Eastern. Sunday, here we go, a lot of them. On MLSNextPro.com at 6 o'clock, it is Inter Miami 2 at FC Cincinnati 2 at Northern Kentucky University Soccer Stadium. Red Bulls 2 at Philadelphia Union 2 on Season Pass. At 7 o'clock at SaberCat Stadium, North Texas SC is at Houston Dynamo 2 in another round of Copa Tejas Next Pro style. Also at 7 o'clock, Season Pass, TFC 2 is at Hunt City. 7 o'clock, MLSNextPro.com, Chicago Fire 2 and NYCFC 2. In Osceola Heritage Park, we mentioned the road game Atlanta United 2 at Orlando City B. That one you can see on the video side on Season Pass. Jason Longshore will have the call for you on the SDH Network pregame show starting at 6:45. 7 o'clock on MLSNextPro.com, Earthquakes 2 in Lawrence, Kansas, taking on Sporting Kansas City 2 and the reigning Coach of the Month in MLS Next Pro, Benny Feilhaber. 8 o'clock, Tacoma Defiance is taking on LA Galaxy 2 in Carson on Season Pass, and on Season Pass at 9 o'clock, LAFC 2 on the road at the National Sports Center to take on Loons 2, Minnesota United 2. Once again, if you are in market and can catch the matches on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, please do. You can catch the next wave of talent coming through in Major League Soccer and MLS Next Pro. What you can also do, if you are not available in person, follow along on your local providers for the matchups with your favorite teams, or you can always follow along. If you're out of market and still want to follow along, you can do so on MLSNextPro.com if the match is there, or you can follow along on MLS Season Pass and Apple TV. That's another round of what is going on in MLS Next Pro. I'm John Nelson. Thanks for hanging out with us here on SDH. We'll keep you posted on everything going on in MLS Next Pro all season long. Play safe, everybody. Enjoy the game.